Hi everybody, welcome back to another lesson. This is another video on the basics. Number one, very important thing to learn when you're playing the guitar is how to tune the guitar. You don't want the guitar sounding all out of tune. And if I'm playing a G chord, you want it to sound like a G chord. You don't want it to sound all messed up. So I'm gonna mess around with my tuning pegs here and it's gonna sound great. Oh boy, all right. So that's really awful. Let's hear it one note at a time. Brutal. So if you haven't played the guitar before, you just bought it from the store, or it's been sitting in a closet for a while, or maybe you borrowed it from a friend, it'll probably sound like that. Terrible. And you want to make sure that it's in tune before you start playing. So there are a couple of different ways that you can tune the guitar. You can tune the guitar to itself. So it may not be tuned to concert pitch to what everyone knows as an A or a G, but it'll be in tune with itself well enough so that it sounds kind of right. So I'll give you an example right now. I don't know, all the notes are all over the place. I randomly turned everything. But if I just tuned it to itself, okay, that sounds lower than an E. But we'll tune it to itself. How do you do that? You play every note on the fifth fret, okay? So on the sixth string, you're gonna put your finger on the fifth fret here, and you're gonna play the note, and then you're gonna play the next string open. Kind of close, but it's a bit flat, so I'm gonna tighten the string till it sounds the same. Now, how do I know if it's higher or lower? Well, I vocalize the first note, meaning I'll hum it. You don't have to be able to sing to do this, but just try to hum and match the tone. If you're higher, you hear that it's not quite right, or lower. No, so search around with your voice if you're having a tough time and slide into it. I've got it. While I'm vocalizing, I can play that next note. Now if I'm lower, I had to move my voice lower to get to that note, so I know I have to bring that up. All right, and getting the general idea of how to tune the guitar to itself. You'll do the next string the same way. So first finger on the fifth fret of the fifth string, and you'll play the fourth string open. So that's sharp, it has to come down to match that note. And because the tension's been messed up, you may have to do it a few times. All right, that's close. Now, next string, on the fourth string, fifth fret, to tune the third string. It's got to come down. All right, so that's it. Now here's the trick. On the third string, you don't play it on the fifth fret anymore. You play it on the fourth fret, okay? So third string, fourth fret to tune the second string open. Way sharp. Now you'll notice another technique that I'm using is I will go a little bit flat from the note and then tune up to it, because what that does is it reduces the tension on the string and then brings the tension back up to tighten it. If you just tune down into a note, the string can get a little bit loose and maybe go flat. Okay, and then back to the fifth fret on the second string to tune the first string. So now the guitar is in tune with itself. It's not in tune, so it sounds a little funny to me, but it's in tune with itself. You could play around with that because it sounds okay with itself. You couldn't play with anybody else or a record because it would sound off from that. But that's step number one, tuning to yourself. Step number two would be tuning to somebody else. If you have another instrument lying around like a piano or another guitar that you know is in tune, you can ask them to give you a low E, okay, or an A. So let's say I had another guitar, just so happens that I have many other guitars here. And you're gonna do the same thing that you did. You're gonna vocalize, and you're gonna see, oh, I'm lower, I have to come up to that note. Okay, so it was right around there. All right, great. Now, from there, you can tune to yourself. Sorry. So I won't worry about perfection right now, but that's the basic idea. So now I'm kind of in tune with the other instrument and I'll be able to jam along. If you want even more precision, you can get a guitar tuner. So guitar tuners come in all different shapes and sizes. These days, it's trendy to have a clip-on tuner. That would look like, voila, this, or the Snark ones. Don't worry about the brand name. This one happens to be D'Addario. It slides on the headstock and you clip it on and you turn the tuner on, and then you play a note and it'll show you E with green lines or red lines if it's sharp or flat, and how you have to adjust it accordingly. So that's one handy way of having a tuner with you all the time. Some guitars, acoustic guitars, if they have a pickup, might have a tuner built into it. Works much the same way. If the red light on the left of the center green is lighting up, that means it's flat. If it's on the right, it means it's sharp. So you have to bring it down. Okay, you want it to go in the middle. But the thing that can trick you is if the guitar is way, way out of tune, then you have to bring it kind of close to tune in order for the tuner to be able to pick up the proper notes and tell you it's in tune with that specific note. So to know that, again, we know the names of the strings: low E, A, D, G, B, and E, okay? These are the notes that they're supposed to be. So the tuner will tell you if it's tuning to this note to a D, well, then you know you're way too low. It has to be tuned to an E. All right? It doesn't have to be that complicated. I just wanted to cover all the bases for you so you to understand. So the other thing that you can get is an actual handheld tuner. Here's one here that looks like this. And it's got a needle. So if I play, you'll see the needle coming close to the center. It's a little flat, as you can see. But you see the red light and the green light on either side, and it tells you if it's flat or sharp, okay? So I'll use the tuner to get a little bit more precisely in tune right now. All right, so that sounds much better to my ear. How about you? All right, I wasn't that far off, which is great. Good to know. The other thing that you can do is if you have a smartphone, you can actually get an app. And some good apps, I'll suggest them down in the link below. There will be a link to all of these different types of tuners below. So no matter which one you decide to go with, click through the link and it'll show you a bunch of different options. But I can open up a tuner here. This one's by TC Electronic called Polytune. And you can see how that works. The cool thing about this one is I can strum all of them and it'll tell me, because it's polyphonic. But that gets a little bit complex. So don't get bogged down in the complex. Make it simple. I say keep it simple. All right, so now you know how to tune the guitar. If you have any questions, reach down below. There are different alternate tunings sometimes for different songs. That's something that I should bring up. If someone says drop D tuning, for example, you drop this low E to a D. For songs like, okay? That's not common. Don't worry about that right now. We'll cross that bridge later on. In the meantime, standard tuning is the way to go. All right. Thanks for joining me for another lesson with 101 guitar lessons. As always, you can find a link to all the information in the description, as well as the gear that we discussed. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it on your social media channels, and especially with people that you know that are learning to play the guitar and that would find this information useful. If you liked it, please subscribe. And I just want to let you know that I appreciate all the viewers and guitar lovers out there. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.